Hey everybody, good afternoon. Welcome back to Fitness and Finance. That's my dishwasher. As you can see, I live in a tiny little studio, but you know what? I'm a minimalist. I really dig it. I don't have any debt, and debt is not a tool like Dave Ramsey says. Debt is just a slave, or it makes you a slave, right? It's just a ball and anchor and a chain, because you don't have money to pay for stuff. So what do? You take a loan out, right? So when you take a loan, that's like putting handcuffs on you going, hey, I have to do ... to pay for this. Now, I have been transformationally changed, conformationally changed, I should say, through the Dave Ramsey program. Debt is dumb, cash is king, as Dave says, which is very true. Now, I grew up where my family member, specifically my mom, was like, go get what you want and then work 2 or 3 jobs to pay for it. And I'm like, that is dumb. That's the dumbest thing on the planet. And the problem is a lot of people who are book smart, including me, don't have common sense, including me. Now I got some. So then now I'm doing the exact opposite. Whatever I want, I go after it, but I only buy it if I have the money. I have no credit cards. I have no credit score. I have a lot of money in the bank, and I picked up a bunch of part-time jobs to make a full-time income till I find the right career path I want to do, right? I've been doing health and fitness for a while. I'm not going to lie, I'm very disappointed in the field because, again, there's such a low barrier of entry that a lot of people are in it, and then you have a lot of inaccurate advice, right? And then, think about this. Personal trainers are like the Jiffy Lube for your car. Physical therapists and doctors are like the mechanics. But the sad part is it's the maintenance, Jiffy Lube, that keeps the car running longer. And then you don't take care of the maintenance, the car breaks. So then you go to a specialist who can fix it, which requires a lot of education and time to learn doing something a lot of people can't do. They do deserve that work. But the problem is with personal training now, or fitness, you have a lot of people like myself who have bachelor's degrees, multiple certifications, even master's degrees. Now they have to get good at being the business type because, again, the personal trainer / group instructor spends a lot of time with that client more so than the doctor and the physical therapist. And now the lines are blurring. Strength coach, personal trainer, physical therapists. Physical therapists are getting some fitness education and exercise physiology to do major repair, and then general fitness. Personal trainers are getting corrective exercise, right? Postural training, and then they're doing general fitness. So they're kind of both meet in the middle. And here's a heads up, folks. Physical therapists, chiropractors, strength coaches, personal trainers, we all do the same crap, right? The human body squats, deadlifts, pushes and pulls horizontally, pushes and pulls vertically, and then we turn and we carry stuff. Now, honestly, I've hurt so many friggin' things on my body, and I've done my own rehab because I've done my own knowledge. But again, a person who is cleared from a physical therapy or cleared from a doctor to regularly exercise, they don't need to spend that much time doing physical therapy. Get them to generally move the right way under supervision, okay? From a trainer that has either a cert or a lot of experience or both, as well as maybe some more education. They went to a vocational school for personal training. They went to college for exercise physiology. Not gonna lie, folks, education is highly important, but if you go get a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in exercise physiology, great, but how much of that knowledge is actually useful? I'm a big fan of vocational schools. Like, I used to work for National Personal Training Institute. I think the way they do it, or the way I formulated it with the other teacher, right, really, really helped somebody who wants to get into fitness start off the right way, right? You spend a good 3 or 4 months learning how to interact with customers, learning basic physical education movements, and then training them. versus what I did, a bachelor's degree in exercise physiology. You pay $100,000 for a bachelor's degree, and then you go in the fitness space where they pay you minimum wage and you have to learn how to sell. So I'm really disenfranchised with a lot of education from a bachelor's and master's degree standpoint for fitness professionals because, again, what's the outcome, right? You can't make a lot of money until you learn how to sell and do the business. Then you can learn the training. So that's my point, right? If you're getting into the fitness business, go find somebody that is very successful and then tailor your education to what you need. Do you need general education? If you graduated high school and you can read and write English and do basic math, because honestly, you don't need physics and mathematics to live life, general healthy life. And now I'm a huge fan of education. I'm just saying formalized can be great, just choose the right kind. And informal can be great. Choose somebody that is a very good mentor that has a lot of knowledge and skill and results that prove. Okay? So that's the fitness standpoint. So that's my rant. That's a little side bend. Okay, now let's go back to Dave Ramsey. Let's do some of the fitness, finance stuff. Now, Dave Ramsey says, baby step one, get $1,000 emergency fund. Okay? So that's not a big emergency fund. That's not a full-scale emergency fund. That's just a little baby one. So now you feel like you have a little bit of a cash reserve for emergencies, number one. Number two, you're learning that skill set of saving and not spending, and you're building this positive habit. Once you get $1,000, stop. Now, if you feel like you need a little bit more, you know, go to $1,500, even maybe a month of emergency funds, meaning a month of bills. Dave Ramsey says do $1,000 because, again, it's just a baby starter emergency fund, and you can pay for some stuff like if a tire blows or you missed a month's rent or something to that effect, baby. So I'm a big fan of that. Do $1,000. Now, again, if you don't feel comfortable, again, this is Dave's plan. Dave's plan works. I definitely recommend following it because it works for me. Do it, okay? But if you feel like you need a little bit more, maybe $1,500, because the point is you have just your nose above water. Then you have to go work your butt off to get more money. Now do me a favor, right? Baby step one is get $1,000. Keep that in a savings account. It's not an investment, like Dave says. Keep it there. Then you move on to baby step two, and I'll talk about that tomorrow. That's putting all your debts down on paper, and from smallest to largest. Talk about that tomorrow. Right now, get $1,000 of emergency fund, and don't save any more. And then step two, tomorrow we'll talk about find out all about all your debts that you have: auto, credit card, family loans, student loans, whatever you have. Start putting them down on paper so you find out. Now remember, the scariest thing is a lot of people are afraid to look. When I first did this, 2011, December of 2010, I had $105,000 in student debt, car payment debt, dental bills. Okay? The scariest thing to do. But again, right? You need to be aware and pay attention to your life. Otherwise, you're going to wonder where your money went. That's what Dave says. Or where your life went. Right? When I was younger, I was very, very lazy, and everything should be handed to me. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's degree. Now, again, I live in Florida. Florida has a bunch of nice people, but here, I don't want to stay here because they pay very low for their industry. Yes, the taxes are low. Things are more affordable. But again, right, when you go to these affordable places, they pay low. So I'm not going to lie. I had a very good time in California. Yeah, the taxes are high and you're paying taxes, but, you know, I was able to live cheaply in a state that paid very well. I was making $12, $13 an hour, bare minimum wage, delivering pizza, and then I made all that money on top of tips. I was averaging like $25, $30 an hour in tips, delivering pizza. That's how I paid off my debt on top of my normal jobs. Group exercise classes, I was making $50, $60 an hour teaching group classes. I was making $60 to $80 an hour. In Florida, that is nowhere near the case. Bare minimum wage here is like $8.65. A lot of people here are happy making $10, $11, $12 an hour. Now again, if you're happy, like Gary Vaynerchuk, you won. be happy, but I'm not happy making minimum wage and staying at a lower end income when I have bigger dreams and aspirations. You know, I want to have a one-bedroom apartment in a city that I like with 2 parking spots in a downtown where I can walk out anytime, go to the movies, go to the gym, I'm not a big sporting event, but if I want to, I go to a sporting event. I love the movies. I love going to the movies. I love going to a library, maybe going to a museum, just where people are driven in this culture, you know? And I'm a big believer in people pursuing education, formal or informal, but physically making themselves better, mentally making themselves better. And again, just having goals, writing them down, and then acting on those goals, right? Okay, so that's the lesson of the finances. Step 1, get $1,000 emergency fund. Step 2, start writing down all your debt. There's more to step 2, according to Dave Ramsey. I'll do that tomorrow. Step 3, okay, go back to the fitness stuff. Okay, if you're just starting out weight training, okay, start out with twice a week, maybe up to 3 times a week. Whole body. Everybody knocks whole body training. No, the body is a functional unit, right? My upper body doesn't disassociate from my lower body when I pick up something off the floor or when I go live life. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you have a kid, a son, a daughter, or a grandkid, okay? Or maybe you just have a physical job, okay? So whole body is where it's at. By the way, Arnold Schwarzenegger started out as an Olympic athlete and did whole body training and got brutally freaking strong doing that stuff. So Juan Carlos Santana, a very good strength coach. I'm a big fan of his ideologies, calls it the 4 pillars of human movement. Okay, you know, we push, we pull upper body, we do some sort of leg exercise, a squat or a deadlift pattern, we do some sort of rotation. Now Juan Carlos says do some sort of locomotion. I call that cardio, or jumping or running. So let's do something. If you're gonna do a whole body workout, there's gotta be a squat or a deadlift pattern. Now, a deadlift is a pull for the lower body, but there's a little bit of pushing in it. A lunge or a squat is usually a pushing exercise for the lower body, but there's a little bit of pull in it too. So that's why lately my methodology's changed. Pick one of those. Do a deadlift pattern or a squat pattern in a whole body workout. That's number 1. Next category is push and pull for the upper body. You can do it vertically, right? If I military press, wrist over elbow, right? And I push up and in. Now again, I want to change this. I'm not a big fan of it doing sideways. I want it slightly in front. So as I push up, I come out, okay? So I push up and I turn. And the finish point is where my shoulder, elbow, and wrist line up. That's the finish point. A lot of people go dink, 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 clanking dumbbells. Listen, that's known as stupid, right? That's not control. It's trying to show off. And again, most people in the fitness space have either an eating disorder, exercise bulimia, or they were a fat kid that doesn't even fat anymore, okay? So do me a favor. If you're listening to me, I hope I'm teaching you something, not just selling you crap, okay? So now, if I push up, I pull down. That's a vertical pushing and pulling pattern. That does chest, shoulders, triceps when I push. But again, when I push vertically, I like it neutral grip, where my hands are facing each other, right? My elbow and hand are right next to my shoulder, maybe slightly wider, okay? And as I push up, I go back. See how you can't see my ears? Same thing when we pull. Lat pull down, everybody just does this. And they pull down and back. Now, I want you to pull down in front. Now, when you pull down, you're vertical, lean back, pull down in front of your chest, stick your chest out, come on up. Now, do that with cables. Try to find each one separately, or if you do use machines, I've been lately using machines. I hurt my tricep really, really bad. Plus, I'm all about efficiency. Just get into the next exercise and get out. So if I do use machines, at least use a machine where each arm is independent. I minimally use barbells. Your goal is to use dumbbells, body weight, or cable machines. Make each side work for itself. It's just like an alignment with a car. So let's review whole body. Number 1, pick a lower body movement. Squat or deadlift or lunge, which is a single leg squat, or single leg deadlift. That's first. one lower body exercise. Number two, pick an upper body movement. Do either pushing and pulling vertically or pushing and pulling horizontally. They're both, if I push horizontally, that's chest, shoulders, triceps, chest, shoulders, triceps. If I do the same thing vertically, up and back, down and forward, that's still chest, shoulders, triceps. Now, when I pull, when you row, the hands should be in line with each other. Now stick your chest out, drive the elbows back, just till you pass your body, okay? Just till you pass your body. That's working all the muscles of your upper back, okay? So rear shoulders, biceps, forearms, but the muscles in between your shoulder blades. Stick out your chest when you pull. You gotta retract. That's called scapular retraction. Your shoulders are pulling back, okay? How do you know you did that? When you have a proud chest when you pull. But look at my hands. In line, start position, stick out the chest, drive back. Look at my elbows, they just pass my body. Okay, not here, right? Just slightly past, okay? That's called the strength curve, right? For the row, you have a strength curve for the bench, right? You have a strength curve for the military press, you have a strength pull for the lat pull down. Always keep your spine stable, head over shoulders, shoulders over hips, stable spine. Remember, not locked straight. Your spine's never straight. You have a nice natural S curve, right? Okay, that's normal. Okay, so now that's step two. You picked a lower body movement. You picked two upper body movements, meaning one push, one pull. That's it. Now pick a core exercise. I'm a big fan of rotation, right? So that's step three. Rotate. When you rotate, look at my hips, right? You rotate through the hips, right? Your feet are going to pivot. Okay, your feet are going to pivot. Okay? Turn, turn. Okay? Don't just move the upper body. Okay? So if I look right, my chest turns right, so does my hips. If I look left, my chest turns left, so does my hips. Now again, if your body is stable, see how I'm sitting now, I'm stable, okay? You can turn just what's called your thoracic cavity. Okay, but let's keep it simple. When you turn, turn through the hips. So that's part three. You did a lower body movement, push or pull, squat or deadlift. Number two, you did a vertical push or pull or a horizontal push and pull. Don't do both. Okay, number three, you did some sort of rotation. Okay, now rotation, I want you to start where you're either fully turned, hands are in front of you with a cable, right? Now bring it closer and that's a good novice point. So look right, okay, and then drive that left heel, come back to center. Start with your hands close. We're minimizing the use of our upper body, okay? Start with, look right, turn right. Again, look at my hips. Look at my hips and my feet, they're turning, right? Drive that foot into the floor, upper body follows along. Okay, stop here. Now, a harder variation is extending the arms and rotating. Now, here's the thing we're going to talk about later. Man, I have big fists, jeez. Okay, so the cable's going to be in here, the other hand wraps over. When you do this, that's more chest, shoulder involvement. Okay, if you do the opposite, but on the same side, it's like a backhand in tennis. So now my upper back and rear shoulder are emphasizing more. Okay? So you got a lower body pattern, you got an upper body push and pull pattern, you now have a rotational pattern. Okay? The fourth pillar of health was called locomotion. That was Juan Carlos's thing. Juan Carlos Santana is a beautiful human being from an intelligence standpoint, also an entrepreneurial standpoint out of Boca Raton, Florida. I think it's actually Jupiter now. He has something called IHP, Institute of Human Performance. His fourth pillar is called locomotion, right? You're walking, you're running, you're jogging. I totally believe that's the cardio aspect. I like that too. That can also be a propulsion aspect where we jump, we run, maybe we throw things, but that's more of an advance. I'll talk about that later. Okay? So what I want you to do is pick 2 days a week. Monday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday. Okay, your rep ranges are going to be 8 to 12 reps. Okay? You're going to do 3 sets. A set is a series of repetitions performed to voluntary failure. 8 to 12 reps meaning If you can hit 12 reps easily with great form, technique, control, you need to ramp up the weight. If you cannot hit 8, that means the weight's too heavy. Now, here's the safety techniques everybody needs to follow. Form, we already talked about that. Head is back, chest is proud, spine stable. Okay? If you're standing, which I prefer, you do as much standing as you can. Feet are hip width apart, right? Okay, you go through a full range of motion, meaning you go all the way up, all the way down, all the way in, all the way out with an exercise without losing form. Number 3, you breathe. Don't worry about which way to breathe. Breathe out on the push or pull part. Breathe in on the way back. Now, worst case scenario, just breathe. Don't hold your breath. That's an advanced technique we'll talk about later. But the big thing is, folks, stay pain-free. Muscles should be burning, not hurting. Excessive cardio is not the key to fat loss. Sleeping, eating the right foods, managing your stress, and weight training your butt off safely is the key to build muscle, bone strength, flexibility, mental power, okay, and confidence. And it's the best anti-aging, raising up your metabolism. Okay, most people sell you a bunch of horse crap, okay, on social media. Okay, there's very few in between people with fitness that actually give a damn about people. If somebody's not teaching you something, if somebody's trying to sell you something instantly, for example, hi, I'm so blessed that you signed up for my program, you checked out my free email. I need $500 a month so I can coach you on a template I ripped out of Muscle and Fitness, and this is my personal customization program. No, that's not your average trainer. They live in their parents' basement. They probably took a course, a day course. Oh, I'm level 1 CrossFit certified. Cool, you did it in 48 hours. You're a master fitness trainer. No, CrossFit's getting better though, by the way, folks. CrossFit is getting better. CrossFit's a sport, not a training methodology. And again, what I like about CrossFit, I don't love CrossFit. I don't love anything, okay? I love food. That's pretty much about it, especially pizza. But CrossFit, you get a bunch of people that like to work. Now listen, if you don't like to work out or work, you're not going to succeed, right? Like the stupid book, The Secret. Oh, I'm just going to visualize and say things. Well, that's part of the equation. But if you don't bring it to life and you don't do the work, it's not going to work. All right, folks. So 3 sets, maybe 4 sets. If you're a newbie, 2 to 3 sets per exercise tops. Rest maybe 30 to 60 seconds between each exercise. Use a stopwatch. Don't use your stupid earbuds and music. When you go to the gym, go work out. Pay attention with your eyes, ears, feelings, and thoughts. Pay attention to the workout. Oh, your workout program sucks. Really? Because you're not doing my program. Okay? Now, if you have any questions, put something in the comments below so I can look at them and go back and review. I'm going to give you my personal email till I come up with a new strength coach type email. You guys can email me. But again, I want to end the day with saying, hey, I'm very thankful for you guys for even just tuning in here. I'm actually thankful that I'm starting to do this as a regular thing because I ultimately would like to coach from an educational standpoint on fitness and finance and have a normal type of day where I coach people, but also do a lot of presentations, educating people the right way. Because what I don't like about Florida personally, that I've never seen it more so than anywhere, but again, I lived in New York City and born and raised in that area, lived in California for 10 years, but here in Florida, man, like, people are wonderful people, very, very nice. But I'm not going to lie, everybody that I happen to bump into, not everybody, but a bunch of people, like, it's very capitalistic, which is great. I'm a capitalist pig, oink, oink. You work harder, you work smarter, you deserve it. I don't like screwing people. My point is this, if people are constantly selling you something and you're not learning something from them, you're not making an informed decision, don't listen to them. So I've had a lot of bad experiences here. So word of the wise, find the heart of a teacher in any subject matter that you want to learn. Make sure you're feeling that you're being taught to, and you decided to use their service because you found value in their service. Right? Remember, I'm Italian, so if anybody feels like kind of like a used car salesman, smarmy, gross, you feel like you've been sold to, because you have been. where you taught something. Now that's something different. So I'm thankful for this time. Even if nothing comes out of it, I would like to, build this business eventually. But again, I want to work for free and give you some value. And again, if you are ever interested in working one-on-one with personal training, group exercise, just life coaching, or finances, hit me up and we'll talk about it and see if I can actually serve you excellently. All right, folks, have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.